Step through this door and into the future.
This is improving at a very significant speed. This is really amazing to see how much is happening there.
Volodymyr Kindratenko runs the National Center for Supercomputing Applications and the Center for Artificial Intelligence Innovation at the University of Illinois.
This technology has a lot of potential, great potential, and we should not be afraid of using it.
Kindratenko works with these supercomputers each day to understand AI and develop improvements for users across the world.
Yeah, so when we say AI today, for most parts, we really mean there's tools which are able to converse with people in human language. And also at the level that it's very difficult to differentiate between if this is a human or if this is a machine.
Generative AI is artificial intelligence that can write, make images, and create audio based on human prompts. But it could also be integrated into technology like spell check, video editing, even scientific research.
Yeah, this is an incredible productivity enhancing tool. This can actually improve productivity very significantly by taking away simple, mundane tasks that people spend a lot of time on. And many of these can be automated with these technologies.
AI is already creating change across several industries, allowing workers to focus on creative tasks and let computers do the grunt work.
So it's to simplify some of the tasks that otherwise are complex and somebody has to spend a lot of time implementing them. Also to provide the capability to run things faster, to give scientists the ability to just, again, improve their productivity.
But he says there are limits to the tech. Right now, most common AI platforms like ChatGPT, AlphaCode, and Gemini are not able to differentiate factually correct information based on the data they've mined across the internet.
There are a couple of sort of big, obvious risks with this. One of them is the quality of the models heavily depends on the data they are trained it on. And if that data is polluted with some misinformation or with incorrect facts or something like that, these models don't know any better. They will just repeat that.
The other issue? Hallucinations. This happens when AI doesn't have an answer to your question and simply makes something up. Kindratenko says his research is focused on ways to prevent this.
The way we address it, we use a technology called RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. And through this technology, we basically force the large language model not to invent an answer, but actually invent that answer based on a very specific chunk of material.
As generative AI continues learning and improving, Kindratenko says it will become an even more powerful tool, but also dangerous.
But we should look at how to make sure that this technology evolves in the directions that we care and in the direction that the society can benefit from. This is really important to make sure that this technology is not misused and is kind of used for the benefits of all, not just for benefits of some.
Tonight, WAND News investigates continuing our deep dive into artificial intelligence.
As AI gets powerful, smarter, and faster, it's posing challenges for law enforcement.
A closer look at how criminals are using AI and how law enforcement is racing to keep up.
With a few clicks and less than $50 for software, criminals are using generative AI to commit cyber attacks, identity theft, child abuse, and sextortion.
So it makes it more challenging for law enforcement to determine origin. The technology is developing faster than the ability to detect it.
The FBI Springfield office says few cases have come across their desk, but many are at agency branches across the country, including investigations where AI is used by cyber criminals.
They can use artificial intelligence to kind of increase their skill set, so maybe they don't know how to develop certain pieces of code to attack certain digital systems, so they'll use artificial intelligence then to take them to the next level.
He says AI can write the malicious code, turning an amateur coder into an expert hacker.
Is technology amazing, and are we going to find positive ways to use AI? Most definitely. But when it comes to this issue, when it comes to child sexual abuse material, the Attorney General is going to put the safety of children into that conversation.
Christine Feller oversees the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force in the Attorney General's office, also known as ICAC. She says her investigators are trained to look for AI material.
So as far as our digital forensic examiners that we have, they have extensive training.
She too says cases involving AI haven't come into the office yet, but her team is preparing.
Where we're seeing our investigators and our digital forensic examiners needing to spend more time analyzing the content that they review.
She says criminals are using AI to either take an image of a real child or teen and create child sexual abuse material, or generating photos and videos that are entirely fake.
When you're looking to try to identify victims, we're in here, yes, do we want to catch the bad guys? But at the same time, we want to remove kids from the hands of these offenders. And these offenders aren't just, some of them are hands-on. But what we know is that they're collecting images from people all around the globe. And these children could be here locally, they could be in another state, they could be in Australia, they could be absolutely anywhere.
Feller says this adds a challenge for investigators to determine if a real child has been harmed or if the image was artificially generated.
You're looking at those images. Has this child been identified in the past? Is this a child that we have seen numerous times, maybe over the past decade? And when they're looking to see if it's a new victim, now what they might have to start considering is this AI?
She says criminals are also using AI as they lure teens online.
Oftentimes in these sextortion conversations, it'll start out where someone's probably posing as a hot girl and you've got a teenage boy chatting back. Maybe images do get sent because, again, they're visual, they're not thinking long term, they're in the moment, they send that picture. But what we see, though, in those sextortion cases then is that the individual then flips on them, they demand money.
Others may not even ask for pictures, but instead create deep fake nude images and use those to blackmail victims.
Because I can just go online and find something. And who's going to know if it's real or not? But I'm going to have your face there. I'll have your Instagram. I'll have your Snap, your Facebook, any social media you're on. And you know what? I'm going to send them to all your friends.
Feller says there are steps you can take to protect yourself and your kids. She recommends parents are cautious about what pictures they post online and talk with teens about what they're posting as well.
Kids are going to make mistakes. And in these sextortion cases, unfortunately, we've seen it that we know of at least a dozen suicides in the past year. And that's because the kids have that moment where they're thinking short term. They're like, I have just ruined my life.
Justin Harris says while bad actors are using AI to commit crimes, investigators can also use it to find perpetrators faster.
So as cases progress, we accumulate a lot of data that we need to triage and go through fast and efficiently. Artificial intelligence allows us to do that. What that does for us is generate leads, which leads are things that are relevant to the investigation, and then we have human experts then verify and validate those leads after artificial intelligence sifts through that data.
He says the FBI is working to ensure agents and investigators understand the threat and how the technology works.
So with the speed of the development, we've integrated a lot with private sector companies trying to stay ahead of, the cutting edge of the artificial intelligence development.
Working to stay one step ahead of the criminals. For WAND Investigates, I'm Melissa Patrick. Generative AI, the incredibly powerful tool, is at students' fingertips instantly for free.
One of the things that we're also looking to do individually, and as we have these discussions, is integrate this technology into our instruction so that students can use it ethically.
Richland Community College formed a subcommittee last spring to dig into AI and understand how students could use it as a tool or to cheat.
They're going to use it regardless. They can go on TikTok or YouTube, and there's any number of tutorials that show them, hey, this is how you can have AI write an essay for you wholesale.
Richland worked to implement the technology that detects AI material in essays and other work submitted by students.
And this has been an evolving process, right? Because things keep shifting and changing. So we use the CopyLeaks scanner here to check for this type of plagiarism. That seemed to be working pretty well, then it wasn't, then it was again.
As colleges like Richland race to keep up with AI, professors are also considering changing the types of assignments they hand out to students.
Avoid the just spit back some information at me. That's way too easy for the internet or AI to do. And I'm not sure that it really tells us a lot about learning either.
Dr. Hughes says she has made changes to her syllabus, now asking students to focus on personal interactions and reflection, as well as group projects.
I do want to see that they're able to read, comprehend, and then articulate. And they can only do that through practice. So I try to really incorporate some positive tactics to encourage that, which include formative assignments, scaffolded assignments, everything builds on everything else, assignments that ask for personal reflection, which ChatGPT, as far as I know, cannot do.
Professors say it's crucial students are truly learning and building critical thinking skills.
What we can't have is students who have no comprehension or understanding of what the AI has produced, turning that in, passing the courses, and then going into a workforce where they will ultimately be unsuccessful because they won't be able to engage with the product that the tool has created.
Schmersall is also working with the Richland Committee to set rules and policies for students' AI use in the classroom.
Students might, for example, be using something like Grammarly, which is like spell and grammar check on steroids. And so I personally don't have a problem with that. And a lot of people here don't. It can be a very helpful tool for students to use, right? The issue is with that, it's like, well, how much do you allow the students to use that?
The committee is also discussing how professors should handle cheating with AI.
So if I saw a student that this work didn't match work that they turned in earlier, or if they're a college freshman and they're writing postdoctoral level work, then, we could call them in for, kind of a meeting or a sit down in a compassionate way.
Schmersall has already had these tough conversations with a handful of his students who turned in AI-generated work.
I'll go to the student, I'll say, hey, this isn't your work, here's the proof, please rewrite it for me. And 9 times out of 10, they come back and say, you know what, I'm sorry. Maybe they don't apologize, often they do. But they say thank you for the opportunity, and then they turn in something that is very clearly their work.
Professors say it's been a learning curve, one that's expected to fundamentally change the way students learn and complete coursework.
I think that's going to materially change Richland, and it'll probably take a few years to really get there, but I think we are at the forefront right now. We're ahead of many other colleges in terms of already having policies and an active work group, and faculty are really engaged with trying to figure this all out.